So, what I've got to say today is kind of a confession. It's not something I'm particularly proud of and something that I think probably needs to be different about me. I do believe that the Holy Spirit speaks directly to us, and I know this is somewhat contentious actually in Christian circles. There's people who believe that He speaks directly to our spirits and gives us guidance for everyday life, and then there are people who are adamant that He does not. Or then there's also kind of a group that sort of says, well, He speaks through the Word. That's how He speaks. But that's essentially the only way that He can speak, from what I understand, is how they would view it. So, and then there's the people who are kind of in more sort of like, yeah, they kind of think He maybe does, but they don't really like commit to it, right? It's not something they teach or preach about a lot, and you know, they hope it's true. They believe it's mostly kind of true, but it's not really maybe a core, element of their teaching. So, anyway, Christianity all over the spectrum on whether we can hear directly from God right now in personalized fashion. So, now, like I said, I do believe that we can hear the Holy Spirit. I do believe the Holy Spirit is for today, that He's not relegated to the annals of history or the New Testament time. And I do believe that He wants to give us counsel and to give us comfort and those sorts of things. So, the thing that my confession, if you will, is that I feel like I've kind of lost confidence in my ability to hear the voice of God, to hear the Holy Spirit. And I'm not sure what all to attribute that to. Um, Probably one thing was, making our church transition. The very like wildly different. You had people who wildly disagreed, essentially all claiming that they were hearing from the Holy Spirit. And it kind of, so it's a little disorienting, when that happens. It's like, well, what do you make of all this? Because apparently, not everybody is accurately hearing from the Holy Spirit. If they're not, what's to say that I'm accurately hearing from the Holy Spirit? Um, and then too, there have been times where I've felt like I should go in a certain direction, or there's a certain opportunity, and then when I explored that opportunity or stepped into it, and then it didn't seem to really be, it seemed to be kind of a dead end, right? It's like, well, if I was truly hearing the Lord, why was that a dead end? And so I don't believe that hearing the Holy Spirit is a purely, what's the word? It's not just like an on and off switch, meaning either you hear from Him exactly correctly or else you don't hear from Him at all. I don't believe it's like that. I think it's more on a continuum, a spectrum. And sometimes we hear Him more clearly, other times less clearly. And so I think it's a challenge because, on the one hand, hearing from the Holy Spirit is so valuable because there's so many things in life that we can really use guidance. Now, the Word is wonderful, it gives us many principles. Um, but in charismatic circles, we tend to view it as we need to hear from the Holy Spirit for guidance, for specific guidance. It's our pleasure and our opportunity, but it's also a responsibility to hear from Him. And our obedience may be lacking if we're not getting specific direction for what we should be doing. So I think it puts us in a bit of a tough spot. If we're having trouble hearing from God, it can kind of be easy to feel like, well, I'm probably not doing a good job of obeying God either then, because I'm not hearing from Him, so how do I know if I'm doing the right thing? So that can be a little tough. And there are many books and resources out there on how to hear God, probably ones I should be checking out. But I do hope over time that the confidence will improve and I'll be in a better place to be able to more accurately hear from the Holy Spirit and take action on what He says.